Hey everyone, welcome to our training session for new PipeServer Enterprise users. In this video, we're going to walk through getting your part data into Enterprise with our PipeServer Connect plugin. We'll show you how to design parts from scratch and edit any designs you may have already imported. We'll also touch on printing labels and chat about handy features like our Use Far End, which is great for maximizing nesting and cutting down on scrap waste. Let's dive in. When you first hit import, you'll see a bunch of options for bringing your data into PipeServer Enterprise. We're talking MSuite, Stratus, CSVs, PCFs, you name it, we got a way to get your data into Enterprise. For this demonstration, we're going to work with PipeServer Connect, which is our handy plugin for Autodesk Revit and Autodesk AutoCAD. Just click on PipeServer Connect to get started. Next, you'll want to click on the Connect button to connect with your cloud account. You might need to log in. You can see I'm already logged in. Once you're in, you can select the account you want to work with. Depending on how your company's set up, you may need to change this. In this instance, we're going to use my account. From there, you would select the project you want to import. We're going to use the Enterprise demo for today. Then, simply select the packages you want to import. You can grab them individually by clicking, or select all by clicking at the top of the column. Let's hit import. Now your parts are in the import screen, but they're not quite in PipeServer Enterprise yet. Before we finalize things, let's check a few details. You'll see several columns of information here. If you're missing something, just right-click, choose Column Chooser, and add in any extra columns you need. We have a variety of fields you can add to your import screen display. You can also resize columns to fit more information, as well as move them around to organize them the way you'd like fit. AutoFit will fill the screen with all the columns you have displayed. Before importing, let's go up here in the corner and select Expand All so you can see all of your data. This is where you'll want to double check information PipeServer has before importing. Be sure to look at things like wall thickness and outer diameter, length, bevel angles, and make sure any ovals or holes are coming in with the correct sizes. Expand All gives you a great opportunity to look at everything before you import it. On the side, there are even more options. Under Settings, you can set intersection logic. Mapping allows you to map data properties from the imported file information to fields in Enterprise. Lookup is used to create lookup tables for things like OLEDs. The Default Values tab gives you the opportunity to add data before import. To make filtering easier later, let's set Demo Training as our customer. You can see over here on the side, when I click Demo Training, it has been added as our customer. One last thing worth mentioning. Under the Parts ID tab, you may see a variety of colors and even numbers assigned. As this screen shows, a part that is white with no part ID assigned means that part has not been imported before. If a part was green, such as this one, it means it has been imported before, but not nested or cut. You can import this part again. If one of these were yellow, it would mean that the part has been nested. And finally, a color of red means a part has been cut. Yellow and red parts cannot be imported again. Now let's select all items, click the Import button, and bring them into Enterprise. Boom! 18 parts loaded. Click OK, and let's go see everything you've imported. Let's go to the Schedule tab and see what we've got. Here, you'll find all the pipes we've brought into PipeServer. The database shows pipes we've imported, nested, and cut. You can see here that there's more than just the new project we imported. Just like before, you can customize your columns, making sure you see the information you want. You can remove ones you don't need by clicking on the header and dragging it up, or right-click and use Column Chooser to add more. We're going to go ahead and add pipe notes. To add it, we're going to double-click on it. You can see it's appeared now on our screen. Each column also has a little filter at the top right corner. Remember, we use Demo Training as a customer. Let's filter down to that to make things simpler. Click on the filter, then select Demo Training. Now, you'll see all 18 of our imported parts. But notice, the diameters are different. For this project, we're going to focus on 6-inch pipe. So I'll filter down to that size. Again, click on the filter, then select the 6-inch size. Now that we're down to just 6-inch parts, we need to nest this part. Normally, the top line is selected by default. Click on the Nest Part on New Pipe button above. This is where you'll enter the actual pipe length. We recommend measuring the pipe you'll be using to maximize materials. You can enter feet, inches, even fractions and decimals, and PipeServer will convert it automatically for you. In this demo, I'll enter 21.75 feet. Once you're happy, hit the green check mark, and then OK. Now we're on the Nesting tab. You'll see our first part is placed, but there's still a lot of pipe left. Let's make sure we get that demo training job done first. So to do that, I'll filter by Demo Training again. Click on the filter, select Demo Training, and now we have filtered down to just the Demo Training parts. To get these parts onto the pipe, we'll go ahead and click Auto Nest and then All in List. This will automatically add more parts from Demo Training that can be cut. We've added everything we can from our Demo Training project, but there's still a little bit of pipe left at the end. I'll clear the filter and see if we can nest any more parts to minimize wasted pipe. PipeServer will look through the entire database now to find parts that might fit. Select one of the parts listed and click Auto Nest and then All in List again. And look, a few more parts like saddles were added in. PipeServer knew exactly where to put them for this job, and we were able to maximize the material usage. We've nested all the possible parts in the database, so we are going to have a little bit of scrap pipe left over. Now let's create an NC file. This is super important. Pause here and make sure you enter the outer diameter and wall thickness of your actual pipe. Since pipe wall thickness can vary, failure to input the actual sizes can affect cut quality. After you set those, head down to Create NC File. You can add a heat number if you like, but for now, we'll just hit OK. Our NC file is being created. You'll notice that our pipe turned a coppery color, which tells us the current status is on the machine. The very last step is to go into your Output folder and move or delete the NC file. Once that's done, the status will report back to PipeServer that the parts have been cut and the pipe will turn green. The parts are now green in the Nesting tab, indicating that they have been cut. If you navigate to the Schedule Parts tab, you'll see those pieces are now listed as cut in here, meaning that they cannot be nested or cut again. Now let's explore how to design our own part from scratch. We're going to start in Enterprise. I'm under the Design tab. To start designing, click New and then New Design. A new tab has been created for you to design your part. In the Part Designer, there are many different fields you can populate with information for your design. Let's go ahead and start by entering the outer diameter of the pipe. You can select any value you'd like or select from standard sizes we have populated for you. For this demonstration, we're going to use 8 inches. Next, enter in the wall thickness. Again, you can enter any size you want, but we do have preset standard sizes. In this example, we'll go with Schedule 40 for our wall thickness. Finally, the length will be created when we design the pipe by adding in end cuts. It is worth noting you may fill in any other parameters you might want for this part, such as material type, things like name, customer job, etc. For this design, the customer is extra. This will help me filter for this specific part design later, if needed. To start creating the part, navigate towards the bottom of the screen and select New End Cut. I'm going to select a simple straight end on one side and a miter end on the other. You can see we have two cuts that have been added. We do need to create the length of the part. To do this, input the length you want into the Y start of the miter cut. I'm going to make a 12-inch pipe. A pipe that is 12 inches long to the center of the miter angle has now been created. It's worth noting that this cut has a defaulted bevel angle of 30 degrees. This value was set in the default cut settings on this computer. I can, however, override it to be whatever angle I would like for this part. Now let's add a hole. To do so, navigate to the New Hole Cut button. You may notice that the hole starts at the 0 position. To position the hole, input the distance of the hole center into the Y start value. I'll put 6. Notice the hole location has moved. We can also rotate the hole onto the pipe by changing the X angle. In this case, we'll input 90. The hole has now been moved 90 degrees onto the pipe. Finally, we can change the diameter of the hole. I'll type in 2 inches. You can now see the hole is on the pipe. Just one more thing to share, you can also add in bevel angles on hole cuts when designing your part. Now that we have the part designed, you will need to decide if you want to simply make a one-off piece by creating an NC file, or if you want to create this as a new scheduled part. When creating an NC file, the one part will be placed on a pipe and cut. No further data will be stored for tracking, reports, etc. Scheduling a part allows you to create duplicates, nest parts, create reports, and so much more. For this video, I'm going to create a scheduled part. Click on New Scheduled Part. Now you have the opportunity to schedule as many duplicate parts as you would like. I'm going to go ahead and create 5. When I go to the Schedule tab, remember that I can search for the customer extra. You'll see the 5 pieces I just created. These are now ready to be nested onto a pipe and cut. There might be several instances where you may need to edit a part that has been imported from either CAD, Stratus, MSuite, perhaps a CSV file. That can easily be done in Enterprise. Let's look at how to do that. Let's take this part here, and let's say we need to change the length, perhaps the bevel angle, and add a hole. To edit this design, we would go to the Design tab, select the part we'd need to edit, and then choose the Edit button. A screen very similar to designing your own part shows up. Now in this instance, let's first go ahead and change the bevel angle. Instead of 37.5, let's say we need 30. I can change the number, click the green check mark, and that will be reflected in the design. Now, let's do the same thing on the other end. And finally, let's change the length of this part. Right now, we have it at 46 inches. Let's change it to 40 inches for this example. You'll see that the design has updated above. Now finally, it does already have a hole in here, but let's go ahead and edit this hole. Let's change the diameter of the hole to 5 instead. We should now see a smaller hole on here. Now that we've made all the edits we need for this part, we have a few options again. If we need multiples of this part, we can do the New Scheduled Part and add in as many parts as we need. If we want to just create this one part, we can create the NC file as discussed prior. Or if we go look in the Design tab or in the Schedule tab, we can see that part 503 has already been updated to the new bevels and the new hole size. So there's nothing further we need to do. It is now ready to be scheduled and nested onto a pipe. Normally, as part of the nesting process, you will be prompted to print labels. So let's look at how label printing works in Enterprise. To access the label printing, you can select the Labels printing icon from the Pipes tab, the Nesting tab, or up here under the gear icon and under Printing. All three will get you to the same spot. While we give you a demo label, you're definitely going to want to customize this for your company. To do so, select the triangle pencil icon in the upper right-hand area here. First thing you'll want to do is set the width and height to your specific label printer sizes. We'll keep the 4x2. Any box that is blue consists of text that you can change and customize to your needs. Let's go with your town in Detroit, Michigan for our location. Anything that is green are fields that are coming in with your CAD data, your M Suite, your importing. You can see here all the variety of fields we have. Simply click on a field and drag it on over to add it to your label. You can increase the size. You can also rotate if you would like. You can add in graphics such as your company logo, as well as set QR codes to be scanned to the data you would like to utilize. When you're done, simply save. Again, if label printing is enabled, you will normally be prompted to print labels during the nesting part of the workflow. If for some reason you need to reprint labels or you do not have it enabled, here's how to do that. Go to the Pipes tab and select the pipe you would like labels for. Navigate up to the label icon and choose whether you want part, stock, or drop pipe labels. For this, we're going to use part. If you'd like, you can go to the Settings tab and verify that you have the correct label selected. Then check all the labels that you would like printed and hit Print. These will be sent to your printer in the same order they are on the pipe. Simply wait for everything to cool down and apply them. A great feature that PipeServer Enterprise offers our customers is the ability to utilize the far end of the pipe and minimize waste. This feature allows customers to utilize as much of their pipe material as possible. Let's explore how this option works. Here you can see I have a part nested onto a pipe, and I have about 4 feet left according to the ruler on this. But I actually might be able to utilize the entire 6 feet left on this pipe. To do so, I would want to enable the Use Far End. What happens is Enterprise moves the part down into the dead zone that normally cannot be utilized on a pipe. I do want to mention that to utilize the far end, you would either need to have straight cuts or be using pre-beveled pipe that does not necessitate a cut in this area, the dead zone. Also, you'd want to verify that the parts being nested did not have a hole or any other feature that would require cutting in the dead zone. Now that I've nested this part down into the far end, let's go ahead and see how much more we can get onto this pipe. I'm just going to go ahead and select Auto Nest and have it choose from everything that I have in the database for this example. You can see that I am getting a notification that the part I currently have in the dead zone using the far end does have a bevel of 37.5 degrees, but we're going to assume I'm using pre-beveled pipe in this instance and ignore that. You can see I've managed to basically utilize every single inch of this pipe by putting on another 2 pieces to finish this off. Using the far end does have some limitations and specifics based on the machine you're utilizing. So it's probably best to reach out to customer support if this is a feature you'd like to use. Nonetheless, I wanted to share with you during this training session a way to maximize as much of your material as possible, saving your company money and not having lots of leftover scrap. I hope this overview of getting your data into PipeServer Enterprise, designing parts, and using features like Use FARN helps streamline your workflow and reduce scrap waste. If you have any questions or need further assistance as you start using these tools, please do not hesitate to contact our support team at support@pipeserver.com. We're always happy to help. Thanks for watching and happy cutting.